name's Adam Hills. Welcome to Spicks and Specks, the music quiz show that had its air guitar stolen over the weekend. Our two team captains each and every week are the melodious Alan Bro and the harmonious Miff Warhurst. Alan's first guest tonight is the Dean of the Sydney Conservatorium of Music and one of the world's foremost woodwind instrumentalists, who once had to rush straight to a concert after spending a day on a French beach.
Oh, yeah. She
ended up playing in borrowed clothes, wet hair and with sand up her bassoon. Please welcome Professor Kim Walker. Alan's second team member is a comedian who loves the song Shut Up or You Face because it makes her feel connected to her Italian heritage. Oh, you should see her when a Dolmio ad comes on. Please welcome Celia Pacquola. This first guest tonight is one of Australia's best singer-songwriters who has become one of the friends of our show. Actually, he's more like your really hot friend that your sisters can't stop staring at over dinner. Please welcome back Pete Murray. This final guest tonight is a comedian who was once a member of the New Zealand Army, whose first album was the Tour of Duty soundtrack, and who once dressed as a Vietnam War soldier to go to a Steve Earle concert. He loves the smell of rubber chickens in the morning. He's Rhys Darby. Rhys, I want to start with you because Rhys and I have worked together doing stand-up comedy. We did a play together a few years ago. Since then, you have appeared with Flight of the Conchords. You've appeared with Jim Carrey in the film Yes Man.
Yes.
You've been on a Grammy Award-winning album with Flight of the Conchords. Well done.
Thank you, Adam, and this show's pretty good too.
You also did an ad with Roger Federer.
Oh yeah, slip that in. Yeah. Only the big names, me. He's a tennis player.
Yes.
Yeah, he's one of the best.
I've heard he's all right.
Yeah.
Now, Celia, you have quite an unusual bit of music credibility.
I was in a band.
That wasn't the one I was heading towards.
Yeah,
were
I
you?
know. Well, because the band I was in wasn't so much a band as in high school we had a talent competition and some girlfriends and I did a rap version of A Whole New World from Aladdin.
Oh, wow.
And I was the grunt doctor and it was my job at the end of each line to go, "Hua!"
Do you still remember how that rap goes to A Whole New World?
The start, yeah, it was three-part. It was, I can show you the world. Show me that world. Hua!
Miff and Alan are going to pick a topic. Everybody will be quizzed on that topic. Your choices tonight are chamber music, swing, acid jazz, and 80s exports. Miff can pick the first topic tonight.
Oh, we have to have 80s exports.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay, Alan?
And we'll have chamber music, please, Adam.
Certainly.
Is that because of me?
Yeah, that's because of you. Yeah.
Yep. Joe Dolce and chamber music go hand in hand.
It's Italian.
We'll start with 80s exports. Everyone on your buzzers, let's play Spicks and Specks. Your first question for 1 point. Name this band that made the cover of England's NME in 1985. Yes.
That's the Triffids.
Yes, it is the Triffids. The headline was The Year of the Triffids. First point to Alan's team. Next question for 2 points. This is Rick Springfield from 1981 with Jessie's Girl. And Great Pants.
Great Pants.
I need two things. The name of the band that launched him in Australia and the daytime soap that launched him in America.
Oh, was he on General Hospital?
Yes, he certainly was, Miff.
And the band in Australia, I only really remember him from Jessie's Girl.
Anyone on this side?
Oh, I'm trying to think.
You're a professor, aren't you?
I don't want to pass like that.
Yeah, do we call you Professor throughout the show?
No, Kim.
Kim?
Kim.
I'd quite like to call you Professor.
Okay, call me Professor.
Fantastic, cool. And then can I be Gilligan?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
No one knows the band that Rick Springfield was in?
No.
I saw a hand go up in the audience, though. Yes, down the front here? Zoot was exactly the band I was looking for. Finally, In Excess, perhaps our greatest musical export, contained Andrew, John and Tim Farriss. For 3 points, what instrument did each of the Farriss brothers play?
Tim was saxophone.
Tim did guitar.
No, that was the guy with the... No.
Tim did guitar. John on the drums.
Let's have a guess, because
Andrew played the keys.
Keys.
Andrew keys, John drums, Tim guitar. Oh, 3 points out of 3. You haven't won the last 2 times, have
No,
you?
I've been here with Miff twice, so yeah, I've gone down both times. So
Well, I've got to say, Pete, when you were coming on the show this week, I asked around our office, saying to all the people in the office, what should I ask Pete Murray this week? 60% was please ask him this question, will you take your shirt off? See, look, now, I do want to ask you lots of other stuff,
I
but...
can't do that. Can't do that.
No.
Way too embarrassed.
Don't do it. I wouldn't cope.
Maybe at the end of the show. If I win, okay? I said if I win.
Pete Murray, are you saying that if your team win tonight, you're going to take your shirt off at the end of the show?
Can I have someone to come and remove our buzzer?
Did I mention that last question was worth 75 points? I did. Okay, cool.
Failed to mention it.
Look, there is one thing I do want to clear up with you. Yeah. There was an article running around in the Australian press saying that you've left Australia to live overseas because Australians don't think you're cool.
I was actually overseas on a tour at that stage, and I got a phone call from my mum, and she was very concerned, saying, "Look, aren't you happy here in Australia? Are you that unhappy that you're moving away?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" I did this interview, and I said, "Look, the only way for me to make things happen over in Europe is to actually move over there, to be in the market and to be available to do shows."
Yeah.
So that sort of got changed to me, I think, sounding like I was a little bit unhappy with the way things were here in Australia. And I think there were some radio stations, I think, were having a go at me about the whole thing too. So I don't really know, but, you know, it's not true. Yeah.
I think you're really cool.
Thanks.
All right, let's move on to chamber music. Your first question for 1 point. Who was this modern string quartet named after the father of Zeus? Yes.
Kronos.
Yes, the Kronos Quartet. Well spotted, Alan. For 2 points, have a listen to this famous minuet. I need two things: the composer and the number of instruments playing.
You've got violin, viola, cello, double bass in there.
4. We're going 4?
We're going 5.
We're going 5?
Well, you've got a string quartet with 4, and you had double bass, that's 5.
Yes, you're correct. You get a point. The composer?
Mozart.
No.
Oh.
Oh, this side, anyone?
Oh, Handel.
No. It's Boccherini.
Oh, Boccherini. They named that cheese after him.
3 points on the line for your final question. Have a listen to this Debussy sonata. Name the 3 instruments playing.
Harp.
Do it.
Yep.
Viola.
Yep.
I think there's going to be a flute.
3 points out of 3.
All I can say is it's looking good for us not getting our tops off.
Oh, yeah, what are you doing? I know, we haven't done it soon yet.
Oh, but you lost 5 points for not knowing Boccherini.
So I think about 80 to them and about 3 to us.
I think it is at the moment. Yeah.
Can we just have a regular check of the score after every question? I think
Sure, we'll do a score. Yeah, we'll do a score
I feel
check.
very safe.
You're
Look,
worried
let's just
about
do a
the
score check
final
now.
moments?
Okay, Miff, Pete and Reese are on 41 points. Alan, Kim and Celia have actually lost points. You're on -5. I don't know. Look, here's something that I hadn't considered before, Professor.
Yes.
Are you going to cop a ribbing at work if you make mistakes tonight?
Sure, of course, it's we're supposed to know everything like an encyclopedia, but we don't. We know our specialised slice, you know.
Right, okay. Yeah. Of course, you were a world-acclaimed bassoonist.
I was.
When you're on tour,
Yes.
do you get quite raucous? Do you get quite rock and roll?
You've heard of the London Symphony and those tours, and they would destroy hotels and everything?
Really?
Yeah.
The London Symphony would destroy hotels?
Well, you'd do 2 recording sessions. You'd fly to Rome, do a concert. You'd have a party at the ambassador's house and quite a lot of all-nighters. And then you'd get back on the plane and be going back to London